Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to LEGO Space. Today we're back with some more updates on the Afterlife and Frozen Empire Ectos, and you guys can see a lot of progress has been made, and you can really start to see which car is which. We finally get to see the red stripes on the Frozen Empire version that come all the way up the fender. Really cool. They don't come up quite as far as they should. They should come down to here, but there's really no way to do that. So either way, I'm pretty happy with that. And I also like how LEGO and even the mock kept the design of this red line being all in line, so it looks really sharp. We have the transition on the door of when the line is raised and then kind of gets a little bit more flattened out. You guys can see a lot of that rigging material I've done in red, so that way it's just a really nice red line. Same thing over here. And they just come all the way down the fenders, and it looks so cool. Definitely already changes the look of the car, and I love it. Another thing that I decided to change a bit was the how this engine looked in the Afterlife version. You guys will remember from the last update that I had kind of done a lot of different shades of brown to get some different color rust, and after looking at it for a while, I thought it was cool, but it was a little toyish to me. Didn't really look that serious. It was very colorful, a little bit more colorful than what it needed to be, so I went a little bit more serious with the weathering on the engine. And we'll open the hoods and show you guys what this looks like now. So there you go, you guys can see a little bit more serious on the coloration. I think it looks a lot better. Basically anything that was blue went to brown, the darker brown for the nice dark rust. The gold parts in here, I kind of got those kind of a tarnished color piece in there for those. You guys can see the color difference. Anything that was black up front here, I basically faded to dark gray. Some of the silver accents went to either a light gray or a dark gray, and I think it looks a lot better. It still gives it a weathered look, but it looks a little bit more organized and not quite so piecey. And I love it. It's really cool. You guys can really tell the difference between the worn out old rusty engine on the Afterlife version and then the refresh beautiful clean engine on the Frozen Empire version. And I love how these cars are coming out. They're looking really awesome. I got the hoods built. A lot has changed on these hoods from the original mock design. I actually ended up shortening the support base for this. You guys can see everything on the back is just single and doesn't have a plate that comes all the way down. I actually found that to be like a fitment issue with the hoods. Even back when I did the other two cars, the hoods were not closing all the way, and there's a little bit of an interference between when the plates came all the way down and ended up on that. I think I talked about that in one of those videos where that was an issue that I had to kind of fix. I had to modify the hoods for that. And then also in the battery area, on the mock instructions, they have you kind of doing something like this over here, and it put the battery cables up too high and also wouldn't allow the hood to close. So those were things that I already had implemented on the other cars. So that was just kind of stuff that I had to kind of go back and reference. And you guys can see the hoods close really nice. Everything is perfectly level and looks awesome. We got our hood emblems on there. We got the vents on. And we have the dashes done. Getting some of the windows in. We got the door interiors on the front doors done. So everything with the doors is done now, so that's pretty exciting. One thing I am going to do on the Afterlife version is I'm going to take a gray 1x2 plate and I'm going to place it in the door in this spot right here to replicate the patch job of when the handle was originally moved from here to here. The real car kind of has a gray primer patch right there where the door handle used to be, so I'm gonna do that as a little bit more characteristic of that car, and then of course we won't be doing that on that version, on the Frozen Empire version, because it is going to be a nice repaint and everything's looking fancy. You guys may have noticed I went and I changed the name on all these videos because it wasn't just the Afterlife build. This is both cars at the same time. I'm going to keep the name of the videos the same now, but we will get to a point, like I've said before, where I'm just kind of concentrating on the top end of this car and some of the stickers and all that, and then the Frozen Empire version will kind of have its own time. But these videos have really been both of these cars at the exact same time, so we are including the Frozen Empire version in the title. And I love how they're coming out, guys. It's been a ton of work, but we are through the worst of it. Everything with the doors works really good now. Even after getting all these windows in, I ran into no other issues other than the last little stuff that I had to take care of there that I talked about in the other video, or the last video. But you guys can see we have full door interior. Everything works really awesome. We have all of our trim and everything. And then same thing with these driver's side passenger doors. These are now a fully functional door. So those were that, plus just more detailing on the interior in the back. Those were the big ticket items, and now it's basically just finishing up the mock. When it comes to the top of this version, not too much has changed, but we are going to be changing quite a bit on the top of the Frozen Empire version. If some of you have seen pictures of the car, or you're kind of familiar with the car from scenes of it while they were shooting the movie, and stuff like that, you guys can take notice that there's quite a few changes to the top equipment, and we'll kind of get into that once we get into finishing this build. But that's pretty much it, guys. Just kind of wanted to update you, show you just how awesome these cars are looking. It is really cool to see the red stripe come all the way down. I wasn't too keen on it at first, but me being a little bit older, I'm not a huge fan of change. So it took me a little bit to like it, but I do really like it. It adds some class to the car. It puts it in its own story, its own time period, and kind of makes the car its own version, especially once we get to some of that top detail. So I just love how everything's coming out so far. These things are looking awesome. Like I talked about in my last video, I kind of ditched the idea of doing some tan pieces inserted in with the white pieces. It's just too drastic of a change from color to color. Now if I had every single white piece in that tan color, it would look good, but just changing a few parts here and there isn't really going to make it that much better. And like I said, I have a lot more rust stickers that we can use, so I'll just kind of play with those, try to strategically place them, and it'll look good. It'll be a cool looking car. You guys will be able to tell it is the Afterlife version for 100%. So, but yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this update. Just wanted to kind of run down some of the finals with the engine. Like I said, I love how this engine looks now. It actually looks like an old engine and not just something that's very colorful and super pieced together. It actually looks like the engine block's old and rusty, and you know, we don't have the Cadillac fancy print on there anymore because that's all rusted, and things have changed color over the years, some wear and tear. So I really like how legit this looks now when standing side by side with a clean version of the engine. I think those look really awesome. So glad I kind of went back and changed that. It's kind of the name of the game with these projects. We just kind of, I don't call anything permanent until till I like it 100%. So it's been a lot of trial and error, even with some of that back stuff. I've changed some of that a couple different times before I was happy with it. So but yeah, guys, that's it for this update. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and until next time, take care.